Hello everybody on YouTube. Today I have a special surprise for you and myself. I was recently in LaConner, Washington on a crab cruise, which went well. It was a very fun experience, and we decided afterwards to go through the little businesses in town there, little antique stores, and I managed to find these books on a bottom shelf in the back room. And what I have here is a 1953 Popular Science magazine, a 1956 Mechanics Illustrated magazine, and a 1927 Popular Mechanics magazine. And what I wanted to do today is I wanted to thumb through a little bit of one of these so we can kind of see what was going on. You look at this one. Back in 1927, they were looking for inventors, $112,000 for your idea. See page 1. That's interesting. This is about 15 bucks. July 1924. It says 24. 24. I was wrong. Not 27. Well, we have this one from 1956. Special Selection. America's Plan to Conquer Outer Space. Back in 1956. Will we beat Russians to the first space station with this passenger rocket? They were very advantageous back in 1956. Planning on passenger rockets. This does resemble one of the new rockets there from Blue Origin, Virgin, and maybe one of these Tesla jobs, but nonetheless, I want to go through this one. Popular Science, 1953. Looks like Optimus Prime there. How cavemen conquered the giant bears, and how to choose an antenna for your house, or a biplane, whichever you want to go with there. And here's something that you don't see anymore. Camel Joe. Go ahead and dig into this thing. More people smoke Camels than any other cigarettes. This is not an advertising for smoking, kids. This is just what I'm seeing on the book. Well, let's flip through this thing and see what's going on back in 1956. August 1953. Get your shit straight. All right. Oh, would you fly to the moon if you had a chance? Any 3 scientific books. Science fiction books. $1 for 3. You should smell this book. Oh my gosh, if you've been to an old library. Oh, this is just fantastic. The smell from these old pages. And there's no yellowing. This one is actually in really good shape, aside from somebody pawing through it numerous times. Must have been that guy pawing through it. Let's see what he got going on here. How we take 3D photos. First in its field against PSM, now present true 3D pictures. Also at this antique store, I found it was a 3D, I forget what they're called, but it was a postcard with 2 pictures on it that were slightly off center. And you look at it through a lens section there, and it gives you a stereoscopic view, kind of a old antique rendition of 3-dimensional viewing. And that was kind of interesting to look at too. They had a huge box of these things, $5 a piece or something like that. But they didn't give you the goggles to look through to take home. I'm sure those were hundreds of dollars. But let's see what they got. Old cameras and things like that. Torque wrench. These books are filled with lots of automotive related parts and tools from back in 1953. Proto Torque Wrenches. Proto Tools. I believe Proto Tools is still a company that's going on today. Let's see what we got. There's something interesting in here. How to stumble upon a fortune in gems. I will train you at home for good jobs in radio television. Oh, radio television. That was back before they figured out which direction they were going to go with television sets. Now, if you could have got back into something like that back in 1953, oh, you'd be worth something now. Nash Automobiles is something that you don't see anymore. Nash Air Flights. To preserve the beauty of the baked enamel finish, the Nash cars are treated with bonderite. This process provides an anchor for the finish, retards rust, cracking, chipping, or peeling of the hard enamel, ensures lasting beauty. Well, back before 1956, when they painted cars with lead paint, that did its trick too. And the finish on those cars was much better than it is today, with a quick clear coat on top of maybe 2 layers of base coat and half of a coat of primer. There we go again. Back to the inventors. Inventors, inventors. We want your ideas. I have an idea. It's called PayPal or Tesla. We could go with electric cars. It'd be great to travel back in time and be able to have a book like this. Remember all the things from the future that we didn't have back then. You see, back in the day, you used to have people running these cameras. Nowadays, when you see the news, you'll just see the cameras just articulate by themselves. Everything's run by computers, and the guys running these things nowadays are probably just sitting back at their cell phones, running the cameras with their cell phones and such. Watchmaking, back before Apple Watches. Motorola car radio, lowest price ever, $39.95. Back in 1953, that was a lot of money for a radio. Probably equivalent to a couple $300 nowadays. Yeah, at least 150, but that's not, I don't know what the wages were back then, but probably a couple dollars, $4, $5 a day. And you were rich back then with that kind of money. Now, the wonders of liquid plastic. Manufacturing without tools or machinery. Liquid plastic can make boats, gears, fishing lures, pen sets, handles, knives, dials, statues, figurines, jewelries, gems, or novelty gadgets. This is the 1953 version of a 3D printer. All of the things that you're going to see in here are basically things that we have just copied and redone nowadays. Plastic Cast Company, Chicago, Illinois. Unlimited possibilities. Work with liquid ivory, liquid glass, liquid marble, liquid ebony, liquid porcelain, wood, gemstone, and many other liquid plastics, and in a matter of minutes turn them into an endless and valuable procession of beautiful embedded jewelry, novelties, ornaments, statues, bookends, lamps, pen sets, lighters, ashtray, it keeps going on, boats, gadgets, galore, machine parts, models of inventions, pistol grips. The list is endless. The only limitation is your imagination. We supply everything. Well, you could deal with plastics back then. The new wave of this is going to be the 3D metal printers. Shop method home training. Home training for radio, television, electronics, or automotive, diesel, and allied mechanics. Vacuum tubes? I'm sure I got a box of vacuum tubes sitting around here somewhere too. Now you could be a Cracker Jack at auto repairs, or Shade Tree, whichever way you want to go about it. Thousands of easy to follow step-by-step pictures. It's called Google. Covers 907 models, all of these makes: Buick, Caddy, Chevy, DeSoto, Frazier, Henry J, Hudson, Kaiser, Lafayette, Lincoln, Merck, Nash, Olds, Plymouth, Pontiac, Studi, Terraplane, Willys. Well, a lot of these things didn't make it to the 2020s. But if you could find this book, it'd be worth putting on your bookshelf. That's a nice collectible right there. Something we still have nowadays, Marvel Mystery Oil. Probably hasn't changed at all since 1950s. Let's see, what else you got going on back here? Thousands of new jobs in television. Well, there's thousands of new jobs in electric vehicles nowadays. It's the new television age. Free radio catalog, 21 and 27 inch. Doesn't give a price on these things. I'm making more than $1,000 a month, and I haven't touched a bottom yet. I don't know, man. It looks like he has. All right. Oh my God. Lend me 15 minutes a day and I'll prove I can make you a new man. No. My 15 minutes a day is more valuable than that, that's for sure. Here's my 15 minutes. You can have it. I'm not giving it to that dude for dude bod. Oh, what else? Import pays big. Color prints, 25 cents. Damn, you're still paying 25 cents for a color print nowadays, but that ain't $5 like it was back in the day. $2. Well, I don't know what inflation equals nowadays. Telephones. Wow. I wonder if that thing's got apps on it. Cream hair oil. Opportunities ahead. Train for a future in diesel. Everything's diesel back then. I don't understand why. I found another book. It was showing the future of fuel injection. I passed on that one. These ones look more interesting to me. Shorthand. People don't do that. You got dictation on your phones nowadays. Let's see. Let's flip through a couple of more pages here. See if I can get anything else wrong. Dun, 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 dun. It's just all a bunch of advertising. We're going to get to something here at some point. Let's see. Auto supplies, equipment, opportunities. This is the little nickel of freaking science magazines right here. Make $10 an hour cleaning upholstery. Wanted. Typewriter owners. Make handsome profits right today. Groves Company. School seniors. Money-making opportunities. These are all scams. I bet you these are like all scams back in the day. Help wanted. Does anybody here actually go on Craigslist and answer any of these? These are like the bad side of Craigslist, the dark side of Craigslist. Back before people were savvy to scams. Mustang made a motorcycle, huh? 9.5 horsepower, 4-cycle, 3-speed, foot shift, over 70 miles per gallon, over 60 miles per hour. Oh, that would be considered a moped. And you got federal tax paid at factory, $399.33. It's a scooter. And take off. I don't think a lot of bike clubs like those things. Well, let's see. Mufflers, slingshots. Every kid's favorite. Slingshots and throwing knives. And a crossbow. Dad, can you buy me a crossbow? No, just shoot the neighbor's dog's eyeball out, kid. Oh, boat kits. You make your own boat. Send 25 cents for a custom craft catalog. Oh, here we go. Points. That's what points look like. Anybody know how to set points? You can use a matchbook, that is correct. But they don't make quality points like they used to. Nowadays, you got to replace them every 2,000 to 3,000 miles if you're lucky. And in the meantime, you're going to have to adjust them a couple of times because the materials that are on these things just don't last like they used to. They used to make copper or something like that, some harder alloys. And nowadays, they make them with something that resembles asbestos, and they just fall apart after a few miles. They corrode up. And, you know, I would like to go back to a point system instead of electronic ignition, just for the nostalgia of it. But I don't know where to find new old stock that's going to last like that. Oh, some airplaners and some miners. Some more diesel work here. And on she goes. Let's see if we can find just one. Nope, okay. That's it. Let's see if we can find just one thing in here. That's something. Even a traffic cop would have to unbend to give the lowdown to the driver of this latest of the British little car arrivals. I don't even see a damn front wheel on this thing. And it's a single front wheel, which is the most unstable way to put a vehicle together. The two wheels on the front, on the new Polaris and things like that, way more stable. These things, you hit a corner at 20 miles an hour, this corner's going, look, it's already chipped. This corner's going right into the ground. Damn thing will probably roll over on you if it wasn't for these fenders sticking out 6 feet. And I don't know how you even get in that thing. Got to fold the top down, climb up inside that thing. Turn the page to see the engine. I did. I saw it on that moped back there. Oh! They mount the motor to the front wheel. That's probably the only thing keeping it on the ground. Mounted on the front wheel unit is this 8 horsepower 2-cycle Villiers air-cooled motorcycle engine. Yep, motorcycle engine. Transmission is by endless sprocket chain. Or just chain. Well. The front wheel and engine can be turned by the driver a full 90 degrees in either direction. This enables the Bear Cub to be turned in its own length, pivoting on its rear wheels. Luggage compartment. 20 cubic feet of space. There's like 3 of these books. I don't know if you could fit anything back there except for like a small dog maybe, because I don't think he'd be sitting up front with you. It's like a Cessna, like a bad model airplane engine. That doesn't even look like a motorcycle engine. Like that dude took up most of the seat. He has to lean out the window just so a passenger could fit in there. This guy says, "Hey man, I don't think I'll fit." Well, that looks like it there. Look, she could just lift it up and move the damn thing by herself. I don't know. Just what? I don't know. What? Extra arm holds the phone. Aimed at women. You can do some cuddling the phone to your ear with this tenite brace. Leaves both hands free to take down messages. The shoulder piece is padded with foam rubber. Now, I do remember seeing these things in use. It's just absolutely horrible. And I'm sure that a lot of telemarketers use things like that for the headset. Principles, engine head, open shows position of the spring-controlled pistons. Arrows built on principle of hydraulic valve lifters. Oil pressure on them varies from 25 to 50 pounds. What do you got? Trick engine, heads up, gas mileage 50%. We got overhead valves. No. Overhead cam. We got going on here. Principle of controlled compression engine is simple. Oil under the engine pressure pushes down on the little auxiliary piston in an effort to reduce size of the combustion chamber and raise compression. Controlled compression rate. Well, be danged. Okay, so it's got a variable compression. This is 1953. In actual practice, oil retained by check valves presses both on piston and the spring-loaded dump valve when throttle is opened. Combustion pressures rises, oil pressure on the open dump valve, oil is released, and piston goes up. When throttle is eased off, combustion pressures drop, dump valve closes, and oil pressure again is built up on piston and valve to boost compression ratio. Interesting. All right, so it sounds reasonable in theory. What car was this on? Because it didn't seem to make it into practical application. 49 Oldsmobile. Well, that's interesting. I don't know the history of all these automobiles. I try to watch these shows on the History Channel, how America was made with the... I don't know, we're just losing it here. It's just a bunch of different skeletons tagged together. An ACPAC, a sombrero strapped to the back of a soldier, is the fuel tank of a powerful British flamethrower. Well, right. New invention. Inventions put map on the car and plane on the map. No. Powdered vinegar. No. I don't know. I don't know if there's any stories worth. Look at that guy, strong. Yeah, it's air-powered hoist tilts car. Yeah, not a good idea nowadays, and I still wouldn't be underneath that damn thing, especially if it was controlled by air. And if you'll notice, it may have lifted the car up, but you know that there's one piston that's holding that thing up, and it's air-powered, and he doesn't have any supports at all. Now, OSHA, I don't even know if OSHA was alive back in the day, but I think OSHA would frown on that. Good thing about something like this is that you could probably lift the sucker up in a standard garage. That's only about 9 feet. So there you go. Optimus Prime. like a midget. Yeah. Clever team regards your car's electrical system. Wow, there's a gremlins. Well, let's leave it at that. Let's go through this. The gremlins in your engine. Probably you've never thought of your car as an electric power plant on wheels, but the combined generator capacity of our 40 million passenger automobiles is more than 7 million kilowatts, or nearly 1/5 as great as the total capacity of all the electric power stations in the United States. In the big hydroelectric and steam electric generating plants, technicians called load dispatchers keep an eye on the constantly changing power needs of our cities and rural areas. From minute to minute, they balance these demands with just the right amount of electricity. Your car has a load dispatcher too, or more correctly, 3 load dispatchers, all housed in a little box attached to the generator. Each is an electrical switch or relay wired to its companions in such a way that whether your battery is weak or strong, or the engine is racing or standing still, with half a dozen electrical appliances cut in or out, your generator output is adjusted instantly. That is called a voltage regulator. And you have diodes in there, the 3 diode circuits, and voltage regulator, and a rectifier, generator, cutout relay. This is cutout relay. Working with the cutout relay are the current and voltage regulators. Their action is intermittent and either may open and close as many as 250 times a second to maintain balance between the electrical demands of your car and its generator output. Both relays reduce the output by cutting resistance into the generator's field coils. In the drawing below, they are idle, allowing full current to flow through the field. Generator is now producing maximum output. That's 100% duty cycle. That's a bad idea. 100% duty cycle is going to overheat the generator, and it's going to start making everything fail. That's why you have a current regulator, a voltage regulator, and that's why it's cutting off the field circuits. Well, cutout relay is the captain of the 3-switch team. Acting as a one-way electronic valve, the cutout relay allows current to flow from the generator to the battery, but prevents the battery from pouring the current into an idle generator. Without the cutout relay, battery feedback would burn out the generator and run down the battery charge. 2 drawings below show how 2-coil relays work. That is called a bad I just said it a minute ago. What's that word? Diode. It's a bad diode. Current to flow from the generator to the battery, but prevents the battery from pouring the current into an idle generator when it's off. When it's off, and you have a bad diode, and you land on the bad diode, which is 1 out of 3 in the rotation, 1 out of 3 times you'll turn your car off, and your battery will die in an hour or 2 for no reason whatsoever. You jump start it, it drives fine for 2 or 3 days, nothing seems to be a problem, you turn it off, and it just dies on you while you're in the store even. Bad diodes. Direction of current flow. Battery sends current back through cutout relay switch contact when generator is idle. Beyond the switch, current divides to feed both series and shunt circuits. Its flow is now in opposite directions throughout the coil windings. This neutralizes polarity of the magnet, and the spring opens the switch. No more current can flow from the battery to the generator. Shunt winding closes, switch contacts again when generator goes back to work. Like a solenoid. It's a solenoid. That's your field wire that energizes the field on the stator there and gets that generator working. Regulator control field strength. When your battery is low or power drain is heavy, your generator overtaxes itself to meet demand. Current regulation responds to heavy power surge, opens the switch, shutting off normal generator field circuit. 2 resistance circuits now fed somewhat less current to the field, reducing generator output. Current regulator magnets lose grip on switch, and normal field circuit is restored. This cycle is repeated intermittently to stabilize current outputs. So we got regulation. Well, you got resistors and stuff in there. You know, this starts losing me at these points. The resistors and stuff like that. Just gonna bypass. We got 1 to 2. One half load, half duty cycle, full duty cycle. They're like on half duty cycle through resistor and go full duty cycle. With battery approaching full charge, voltage increases as generator tries to force more current into the cell. This automatically lowers current output, which is good, but high voltage will demand car's electrical system. Voltage regulator responds to increased pressure and cuts out one resistance circuit. Remaining resistance circuit can pass little current to the generator field. Now both voltage and current outputs are lowered, as indicated by the little spoolie guy. All right, well, I don't know if you learned anything about generators. I didn't. I know how to test them with ohmage reader and a diode control. Spark plugs, Champion spark plugs. Well, these are cool. These are cool books. I like this stuff. This is gonna go on my bookshelf. And these are too. I'll make another video when I get my crap together, and we can go through one of these old guys and see what these things are made of. I'm particularly interested. Well, this one's from 2024. I'm particularly interested in what happened back in 1924, but I'm really interested in what's going to happen on this one. 1956, and they were having plans to go into space. They were already designing rockets. Now, this kind of stuff. Back then, it took 7 to 12 years for them to figure out how to draw a rocket. Nowadays, from planning on your phone, I could draw a rocket and probably have it 3D printed, and I could be flying that thing in about 6 days. So, well, stay tuned for that. Thank you for watching. Just trying to throw something different out there, and we'll sit down and do this again real soon. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. Thank you.